See ya.
Yeah, that's rude.
Alright, we'll go just jump into this. There's no tagline, so...
Make it up.
Alright.
Welcome to Spiderberg.
What?
Made up
That's
tagline.
it.
Welcome to I Hope You Suffer. I'm just gonna leave all that. Fuck it.
The people need to know they've been welcomed to Spiderberg.
What the fuck episode is this? 56? Fuck it. Alright. Welcome to episode 56 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan.
I'm Kit.
I'm Katie.
And this week we are not talking
Dead.
about a movie because I did not record the episode last time, so... I'm
Boo,
fired.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Way to
Everyone
go, man.
in unison.
I think it was John Carpenter because I said I would never allow one that wasn't like The Ward or Ghost of Mars, so...
It was
He
the
cursed
ghost of the
us.
Ghost of Mars that did this.
John Carpenter just like scowled towards my computer and it was like, alright, I'll delete it. Alright.
Just playing NBA 2K, hit a 3-point on that delete button.
Play and just I just want to play NBA Jam with John Carpenter once in my life. Big head mode. All right,
Well, I don't
Katie,
think
what
he likes you anymore.
are we doing?
We're gonna talk about ourselves.
All right, well, get us started. You have all of the questions, so
Am I asking them?
yeah, just I mean, you have them all.
Oh my god, okay. I'm also gonna try something different. I don't know if anyone remembers, but on the very first episode I did, which was episode 13 for Mother Krampus, was the first time I ever recorded anything, and I didn't realize my mic is super sensitive, so you could hear me breathing the whole time. And I'm gonna leave the microphone on, and I messed with the settings. So,
I mean, sounds
We'll
fine.
well, yeah, but
Yeah,
like
all
you
the
guys
breathing.
can hear me breathing until like the recording. So,
Yeah, but-
we'll see. It literally was. And like the mic wasn't even that close to my nose, so it was like insane. Okay, so the first we're just gonna do like another get to know us because Nathan didn't record our cool episode that we did.
I was so mad that we didn't have like I could not post us talking about Wes Craven looking creepy as shit in that first story.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It was probably our best and funniest episode ever, but now no one will hear it, so
Yeah, that's the one that
It'll
would
be
have
fine.
probably rocketed us into the stratosphere. Put us
it
on,
would
like,
have.
It was a home run.
We would have been like Joe Rogan big. Just not racist.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess the first thing, I mean, you guys did this on your first episode, which was like over a year ago, so I think I re-listened to only like 10 minutes of it
Because it
because,
sounds terrible.
well, also I think I don't know. So you guys can like re-answer some of the questions if I ask them again.
Never.
Um,
I've
because
made
I don't.
declarative statements already.
Okay.
Hard stance
Well.
against time. Hard stance against clowns.
Children.
Science come.
Nathan. But I think it's appropriate to do another one since I'm here now and stuff. So I guess the first thing is I think you don't know if you guys even talked about this, but I always think it's really interesting to find out how people know each other because you don't just like get strangers to talk to I mean, some people do. So I don't know. Do you guys just want to briefly talk about how you guys met?
Yeah, I think we actually did that on the episode with Casey and Yaz at one point. But
It's exactly like the song "Strangers in the Night."
I mean, pretty much just "Turn the Page" by Bob Seger. I was stripping, and I mean, Twitter basically, just like through Metal Twitter, and then I think we met in real life like the one time at Migration Fest.
And that was it.
So deep.
After that, he's like, we should do a podcast about terrible horror movies.
I believe the first thing I said to you, as I did to Katie, was, "God, you're short." And then
I just saw Caps talking to me. I was very confused.
I was told specifically to say you are the Ben Shapiro or Charlie Kirk of Cheez-It opinions from Courtney.
That's so rude. That's so rude.
Shout out Courtney for telling me to tell you that.
Like you said that to him in person?
Yeah,
yes.
It was like a thing from Twitter that I
was
was it like the white cheddar Cheez-Its?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a battle I lost.
What's your opinion?
I'm pro white cheddar Cheez-It, which apparently the rest of the world does not agree with.
Well, I also like them, so...
There you go, Laura Loomer of Cheez-Its.
It's only taken a year to get back up on this.
See, this is like prime content, catching everybody up. Well, obviously, Nathan and I also both sort of met on Twitter, but
I think it was really Instagram.
Through... Well, I didn't... Okay, so this is what happened. Our friend Cece, I met her through when I worked at Hot Topic, and like not even... I think she worked at Hot Topic, but we didn't work there at the same time, and I met her through like those mutual friends. So I'd been friends with her for a while, and then you said something about
your
Instagram name
at the time,
but on Twitter, and then that was it.
Oh, well, there we go.
And so I guess thank you, LiveJournal, because I wouldn't be sitting here without it, I guess.
I mean, really, thank you, Nathan Gray.
Well, yeah, that's true. My username used to be Katie Sets Fire, which obviously is based off of Boy Sets Fire, who's like one of my favorite bands ever. And if you guys have listened to all the episodes, I don't know what episode number he was on, but it's easily the best episode of I Hope You Suffer because he's amazing. So came full circle, I guess.
Where Kit offended him by saying he had not seen any of the Universal monster movies.
Have you still not seen any?
No.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, don't bother.
I don't know.
They're good, but like, I don't know. I don't know how well they necessarily hold up like to a 2019 viewing.
Well,
I need Wolfman to hang dong. I've got very strict standards.
Well, they do have Target has like a Universal Monsters collection right now you can get for like $20.
I thought you were going to say something about Target has Wolfman dong, and I was like, whoa.
Listen, I said I wasn't talking about dong anymore, okay? I'm over it. And so obviously I know Kit by proxy, and now he is my default friend that I send bad memes to. So here we are.
I feel like that's pretty much just explains most people Kit knows.
Yeah.
All right, so basically we reached out about getting questions from people, just general questions we would answer, and I believe Katie has all of them. I think I have one that actually I'll ask this one now. I'm gonna sandbag Kit real quick.
Are we doing spooky, sexy questions now?
Oh my god.
So hold on, what's this fucking question at? I have a specific
I know what it is.
Do you?
I know it's from Courtney.
Well, yeah. Fuck, where is it? Oh wait, that's the wrong chat. I mean, if it's for Kit, it's probably always from Courtney. So what is your new worst opinion about Cheez-Its? No. What is Kit's worst movie opinion, and why is it Event Horizon sucks?
It's my best movie opinion because Event Horizon does suck.
Hard agree.
I don't
very
even
bad film.
think I've seen it, so.
It's only
Good. Keep it
worth
that way.
seeing
It's
because
terrible.
Sam Neill's in it, and that's about it.
Oh, I do love him though, but
Just watch
I will not
In-
enough that I will watch anything he's in.
Just watch In the Mouth of Madness instead.
Oh, I've seen that like 12 times.
It's much better. I can't. That movie's so bad. I'm besmirching a space film. Okay, that's how much I hate it. You're getting me to hate on space.
All right, so what do we got, Katie?
I think that you guys probably answered this already, but maybe you want to answer it again. Is how did you get into horror?
Yeah, somebody go ahead, Kit.
If I'm reading the questions, I'm not going to answer first.
Fair. I think it was generally just growing up around it. My parents having it like on TV, like just while I was young, seeing Aliens and like Child's Play, the creepy severed octopus head crawling along the football field and The Faculty and stuff like
Oh
that.
my God.
It's like
Just made
it
me
always
feel
had
so
me.
old.
It always had me intrigued but terrified. That and, walking up and down the aisles at Blockbuster, seeing the terrifying DVD art, specifically The Dentist 2. Fucking nightmare of a film.
Yeah, mine's relatively the same. Like, the first things I remember was walking out in the living room as my dad was watching the It miniseries, specifically as Georgie gets taken. And then Child's Play was one of the other ones. And then pretty much just the same, like going to rent videos. I would always like want to rent a horror movie and then just be like terrified of it. And then Airheads
Jason Goes to Hell.
No, I actually specifically remember renting Jason Goes to Hell at like a sleepover, but I can't remember like what some of the first ones I rented were, because my main memories of renting movies was the like year that every time we went, I rented Airheads and drove my parents crazy. But yeah, pretty much mostly Blockbuster. I think and then I guess probably like watching Tales from the Crypt on like reruns on like TBS or TNT or some shit, and then like Monster Vision with Joe Bob Briggs and whatever USA would play like at night. It was probably like mostly how I got like really into it, was watching stuff on TNT and USA. What about you, Katie?
I think for me, it actually started with true crime. Because when I was younger, my mom used to watch Unsolved Mysteries, and it scared the shit out of me. But I mean, when I was younger, I've always been super into Halloween. So like we would watch Addams Family and the Munsters and stuff like that. I was really into the paranormal stuff. So I mean, a lot of the things that I was into, I've talked about in here, like Are You Afraid of the Dark and things like that. But what actually got me into horror was I was visiting my grandparents at this farm they had in West Virginia, and it was like a really creepy farm. There was like no air conditioning, there was no lights anywhere, and I remember my grandpa used to watch the Weather Channel like constantly. So I was watching Weather Channel with him, and then he went to bed, and I changed the channel, and Pumpkinhead came on. I had no idea what it was. I just saw the
That's a
title, and I
bad
was
time.
like, right. I don't even know how old I was. Like, I was pretty young. But I remember being like, oh, Pumpkinhead. I love pumpkins. This is going to be fun. So that was like the first one I saw that kind of made me realize that, like, I don't know, it was kind of like the culmination of true crime and like Halloween-y stuff that I liked. And then after that, I started kind of like looking for it more. So I went and rented the Exorcist book from the library, which was very much not at my. I probably shouldn't have read it when I did. And then same Tales from the Crypt would come on really late at night, and I'd watch it. So I just sort of got into it because of that. But it all started with Unsolved Mysteries. So
Unsolved Mysteries is still great. I wish they would bring it back and just do updates on some of the shit they never did.
Right.
Like,
well,
They should bring it back as Solved Mysteries.
well, because they would do like, segments on shit that at the time like weren't solved. So I think it would be interesting, especially it's like I mean, they did shit on like Bigfoot and whatnot, which obviously like we all know Bigfoot's real. So
Still unsolved. Very sad.
Kit and I's
Well-
the second episode of I Hope You Suffer was about Bigfoot. So
I want to go squatching. We should plan a squatching trip.
let's get Lance Hendrickson.
Okay.
Yes.
Squatching. Well, I mean, they did start doing updates like later when they did reruns, but I think they totally should bring it back because they've been able to solve so many cold cases with like, you know, the advancement in DNA or whatever. I'd be totally into that. But they have to bring back the theme song because it was the best.
Who would you have host it now? Wrong answer, Tom Green.
No, Fred Savage.
All right, next question. Hello?
Sorry.
She gave up.
Can you...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was gonna say the next question. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know this was my idea, but I actually found answering these questions super hard, and I cheated on a lot of them.
Well, that's fine.
So, the next question was one that you guys already answered, which was top 5 good horror movies, and then top 5 bad horror movies. But like, bad as in they're bad, but you like them anyways. Do you guys want to redo that one or no?
I feel like mine's relatively the same, except I feel like I would just definitely have Santa Slay in my bad one at this point. My good ones are definitely still the same, like Alien, The Thing, Dawn of the Dead.
Any updates, Kit?
I think my top 5 good are pretty much the same. Also Alien and The Thing, The Fly, Hellraiser. I don't know what 5 is. I always think of 4.
I don't remember like what specifically my list was. I just know that like
I'd get there eventually.
I just listened to it and I don't remember except for I only remember the ones that you just said.
I feel like a top 10 for me would probably be different now. Like I would maybe have Mandy in it, maybe Cam.
Oh.
But like my top 5 definitely is probably still relatively the same. And as far as like bad good movies, specifically from stuff we've watched for this podcast, like Santa Slay would definitely be in there now because that movie is perfect.
I feel like that's one of the only ones I feel like I'll actually like watch that you guys have already done because I haven't seen that.
So we should do that if it's still on Tubi in December. We should do it and then have you tell us about it.
Okay, I did watch the opening scene because you sent it to me whenever you were watching it, and it's like the most ridiculous
so
thing I've
good.
ever seen.
We're a
so...
Chris Kattan Stan account now.
I love Chris Kattan. Okay, so my other problem is that like there's a lot of movies that I really like. I don't really necessarily know if people consider them horror though. So like I did make a top 5, but like I don't know.
Whatever.
Like,
just
some of my favorite movies are like Beetlejuice and stuff like that. I don't really know that you would count that because it's like I don't know. Anyways, so my top 5 good are, again, I don't know if this counts, but The Lost Boys.
yeah, it's a horror movie.
Pet Sematary, the original. The Ring from 2002 with Naomi Watts. The Shining, and then the original Let the Right One In.
Yeah, that was real
Don't know
good.
if that counts, but
Yeah,
those
I count
are
it.
my top
I
5
think that
good.
may have been on mine.
I think it was actually. And then my top 5 bad, which I don't necessarily really know if people consider them bad or not. But if I were to recommend them to someone, I feel like it'd be bad. And I've talked about this movie a lot. My number 1 is Krampus from 2015.
The Adam
I
Scott
love
one.
that movie. Yes,
No,
I love
that's a
that
good movie.
so much. But I think I don't really know if people like it, so people should go watch it. I also put 13 Ghosts on there. Again, don't know if people like that or
That
not.
I think is a movie
that is a bad movie,
is
but I like it.
considered bad, but seems to be like people coming around to it.
Good, because it's amazing.
I've seen like a lot of people on Instagram like this year posting about it and like their love of it, and I think this is one of those ones that it came out and kind of bombed, and now it's just having like a resurgence of love.
Good, because it's good. Everyone should watch it. I also picked I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Boy, and The Haunting.
I've not seen those last two.
So The Boy came out like pretty recently, and it has one of the girls from The Walking Dead in it. And so it's like one of those like Robert the Doll style movies where it's like, I think I talked about it on here before, maybe not, but she basically goes to this like British countryside, I think, and she's gonna take care of these people's child, and it turns out to be a doll, and then there's like creepy stuff happening. But so in the beginning, I thought it was like kind of stupid, but the ending blew my mind. Like I can't even. I just want everyone to watch it because it was very like perfect example of like looks really stupid but is actually awesome. But I think maybe people didn't like it. I don't know. And The Haunting is just one of those movies that was like one of the first like scary like paranormal movies that I watched that I really liked. I think the sets are like really cool. The acting's like, but so I don't know. That's what I picked.
Sounds good. The boy sounds interesting. I kind of want to watch that now.
Please do. Also, I know that we like recommend stuff on the podcast a lot, and I don't know if people actually check it out or not, but if you guys do, like, please let us know what you think. Like, even if you hated it, because I don't know. I like when stuff is like recommended to me and then whatever. And I feel like this kind of segues with the bad horror movie. So my friend Eric asked like what are basically these sort of are guilty pleasure movies, but he asked specifically for guilty pleasure movies. So what I would add to mine that are not in my top 5 is the Silent Hill movie.
I like that movie.
I loved it. I saw it in the theater. I bought it on DVD, but I think a lot of people didn't like it. And then a lot of movies like Urban Legends, and then my last one, Nathan's not going to like it, John Carpenter's Vampires.
Oh, I like vampires.
In the first episode, you're like, I never want to talk about that movie again.
I mean, I don't, because everybody involved with it besides John Carpenter is a piece of shit now, but...
I know. It's so good, though. So, I don't know. Any other guilty pleasures you would add?
Go ahead, Kit. I gotta think for a second.
I don't know. I'm pretty open about the terrible and weird things that I like.
That's
if anything, like, something that always shocks people is how much I like Mean Girls. Like, I fucking love Mean Girls. It whips ass. So.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, I'm pretty open. Like, I don't... Guilty pleasures for me isn't necessarily, like, a thing. I just am like, if I like it, I like it.
I mean, you have a podcast about, like, reality shows, so...
yeah, those are all
true.
Extremely good.
Yeah, I guess you could put Rock of Love in there.
Yeah.
Not a movie, but...
I mean, horror-wise, I would say maybe, like, I've been real into the movie Valentine. Like, since, Scream Factory, I think, put it out. With fucking David Boreanaz. I'm a very big fan of all of the Lonely Island movies. Like Hot Rod, Popstar,
Hot Rod is the best movie.
MacGruber. The Bash Brothers things they did for Netflix is real good. Yeah, I don't know. Like Kit said, I'm pretty vocal about the garbage things I enjoy.
Yeah, I feel like I am too. I think I don't know.
Let's just stick with just watch Hot Rod.
Yes, definitely
And Mean
watch Hot
Girls.
Rod.
Yes, Hot Rod and Mean Girls. Double feature.
I feel like it'd be a really good pairing, honestly.
I don't have a weird one like that to add, so we'll just move on. So the next one is all basically, I mean, any interview that you do, people are going to ask your top favorite whatever. So I tried to just like keep that really short because there are like so many that you can go into. But we got a question from Lo-Fi Horror Guy on Instagram, and he asked, what is your favorite horror movie ever? You can only pick one. What is it?
Alien.
I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Dawn of the Dead. If it's a movie that, like, if it's the question was like, what could I only watch for the rest of my life, I would probably say Alien.
I'm gonna stick with The Lost Boys for both of yours. What's your favorite remake?
Evil
The
Dead.
Fly.
Oh yeah. Ooh, fuck. I
Yeah.
never think of I don't know. I might stick with Evil Dead. I think the Evil Dead remake is basically perfect.
You gonna take that over The Thing?
I mean, The Thing, I guess, technically is a remake, but, like, it's so vastly different that it's hard to, like, I don't know, you know?
Don't want to count it.
Yeah, like, I don't... Like, does John Carpenter even call it a remake?
I don't know. I assume he calls it John Carpenter's The Thing.
He's gonna burst through my wall like the fucking Kool-Aid Man and yell at me.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking remake!
Is that what you want?
I'm
He
gonna stick
does
with
want
Evil
it.
Dead. I don't
Yeah,
know.
actually, that sounds whip ass.
I am pretty fucking behind the Evil Dead remake.
I am gonna say I haven't seen a lot of remakes. Again, this is like the 100th time I said it. I don't like remakes. And going by your logic, I don't know if the answer I wrote down still holds up, but for me, I say Halloween 2018.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, but I am also like, as far as all of those kind of like big slasher movies, I think the Halloween ones are like my least favorite.
I mean, the only other remakes I've really seen have been like It. I saw the remake of The Thing, but I still haven't seen the original,
Oh, yeah,
so I
we're-
can't really compare that.
We're doing that at some point.
And Pet Cemetery, which was super terrible. So I don't want to say It Part 1. I'm going to just stick with Halloween. So the next one is, what is your favorite sequel?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It would probably be between, well, I guess like a Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I'd say Dawn of the Dead is my favorite movie of all time, so it's kind of got to be my favorite sequel as well. So,
I picked 2 because I don't know if my answer counts. The first thing I wrote was Tremors 2.
that was
if
a
that doesn't
very, very left field choice. That was not what I was
That
expecting.
absolutely counts.
Oh yeah.
I don't really like a lot of sequels enough to say they're my favorite. Tremors 2 is like... Tremors is one of my favorite movies. Tremors 2 is like really up there. Like not even as a sequel. But if that doesn't count, I'm going to say I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
My original like just as soon as you said it, the first thing that came to mind because like the George Romero zombie movies are so like completely different and like far between that sometimes I just forget they're actually like sequels. Like the first thing that came to mind was Evil Dead 2, which is again like another basically like perfect movie. But yeah, I gotta stick with Dawn of the Dead.
Okay. So the next one is, who's your favorite killer? Could be a monster, could be a creature.
Xenomorph.
Ghost Jaws. No. Yeah, I mean, I think
That's a
I
good
gotta. I
answer,
think
in
I
my
gotta
opinion.
go with Xenomorph too. That's like it's a
How-
perfect killing organism.
How How about, Nathan, for you also, favorite Universal monster?
Dog boy.
Werewolf dong.
That's one, right?
Dog boy.
I was gonna say Kit, you can't say werewolf dong.
I mean, I think Dracula throughout like the history of those first Universal monsters, probably Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Okay. I think my favorite Universal monster has to be Dracula. Obviously, werewolves are my thing, but Dracula and vampires have been my favorite like since I was little. For killer, I think I have to go with Ghostface, though. I don't know why. I just like him.
I love Ghostface Killer.
He's the only one I did.
Wu-Tang's for
that
the
I-
children.
What? I was him for Halloween one year, and I had the little knife that like squirted the blood and stuff, and it was the
Like,
best.
all I could think now is you as a little kid dressed up as Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan.
It'd be so good.
Oh, it'd be great.
Stay tuned, maybe. No. Okay, so the next one. Wait, Kit, you said Xenomorph.
Yep.
Okay. Next is
Xenomorphs are just like I think the most visually like appealing of all like any of the monsters in like any movies.
I agree. I think they're super, super cool looking. I'm not really like into aliens though. Like not the franchise aliens, but like aliens in general. So I can't pick it as my favorite, but I do think their like concept is really cool.
So okay, so Kit, taking creatures out, if it has to be one of like a person killer movie, who do you pick?
Probably Jason Voorhees.
All right. I kind of want to say Leatherface, but
Leatherface is good. Good answer.
mostly I'm just thinking of Next Generation. When it's like Leatherface and drag and it's super weird.
I might have changed my answer to Matthew McConaughey from Next Generation.
He is
where he's
fucking
got his sweet
just
robot leg
going
stomping
fucking
on his head.
off in that movie. It's crazy.
I hate him
He
so much.
I am not necessarily
Hard
a
stance against
fan of him. Like it's like one of the first movies I think he did, right? Like it's pretty early on in his career.
His very first film,
And he
but they
is
buried
like,
it.
People fucking give Nick Cage shit for overacting. Oh my god, he is just fucking unbelievably off the charts in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation.
It's perfect. I'm down with the hay.
No.
I guess
Okay.
I don't know. Leatherface is fine, I guess.
Leatherface is fine. I do also like I don't know. There's a lot of really cool ones. I think the reason I like Ghostface is because number one, it's like just like a regular ass person, and to me that's scarier than like something that you kill and then it comes back, because like I don't really think that's gonna happen. But do you know what I'm saying? So it can be
It's
anybody.
more realistic, basically.
Right, and especially because like it cracks me up so hard whenever I'm watching the movies, or like I plugged the TV show on here, which I still really like. When he like runs away in his little like robe, it's like the funniest shit I've ever seen. Anyways, yeah. So the next one is what's your favorite horror subgenre?
Creature feature.
Porn.
No,
Erotic Nights of the Living Dead.
that's not real.
I think you'd be surprised.
There's a lot of them. I mean, yeah, space. Does that count?
Yeah. I feel like when I've never been very good with subgenres, like whether it's music or movies, whatever. And I was gonna say that like when I was thinking about this, I was like, well, it's not slashers. But then when I looked back at like a lot of the movies that got me into horror, like Scream, I know whatever, that's all slashers. So I'm gonna say slasher, I guess. But
Yeah, I'm always like, oh, I don't think I'm a big fan of slashers, and then I just end up watching a bunch of them anyway.
well, I think I don't. I think that when I hear the word slasher, to me, it sort of like equates the sort of more, for lack of a better term, like torture porn kind of stuff, which I think is actually now its like own genre or whatever, which I like despise. I can't stand any of that. But
You're gonna be real bummed when we do like 7 weeks of Saw. Oh god, there's 8.
you know what? I have to say, the first Saw is like one of my favorite movies. I was like really down with Saw for the first like. I really liked the first. There was like some debate on Twitter earlier I was reading that was like Saw and Hellraiser or whatever. I really liked the first 4 Saw movies, and I saw like 7 of them in the theater. But I just got to a point where like I can't deal with it anymore. That and like Hostel, no thank you.
I started apparently a fight by saying that there are more good Saw movies than there are Hellraiser movies.
How dare you?
I mean, it's true.
Hellraiser has more movies in space, so
I mean,
Hellraiser.
you don't know what Chris Rock's Saw movie is gonna be.
That's true. If he releases a Saw movie in space, I will throw all of my Hellraiser films out the window.
Like how? Oh my gosh, I don't. Never. Anyways, can we?
Yeah,
Wait.
go.
Did everyone answer? Can we move
Wait,
on?
what?
I don't want to.
I forget. Oh yeah,
No.
subgenre.
Subgenre.
Yeah, Kit said creature feature. I said space.
Okay, cool. I think I say slasher. Whatever the genre is, that's like
Stabby.
Well, I really like more like like Nightbreed or stuff like that, sort of, where it's like monster.
I feel like
you know what I'm
could,
saying? Like,
that's not necessarily like a creature feature, but I feel like you could probably also put it under that.
yeah. So like that, The Gate, movies like that, I really like.
I kind of want to say slasher only for like 80s slasher movies though.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But if you put a movie in space, I'm 100% on board.
Okay. The next one is, what is your favorite horror movie theme song?
Demons.
Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. Because it's just the Tales from the Crypt theme song.
Killer Clowns from Outer... No, just kidding.
So, okay, here, let's do this in two parts. Let's do, like, your favorite song for a movie, like a band records a song for a movie, and then, like, like a John Carpenter type theme song, like an original score for a movie. So...
Like a recognizable one.
Yeah, so, like, let's do, like, so I would say Demons for, like, original score, Goblin score for Demons. What about you, Kit?
I'm gonna stick with the Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
Theme song.
How dare you not say Enter Sandman from In the Mouth of Madness? What about you, Katie?
I don't... I think for, like, score, my favorite theme is the Exorcist theme.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like Tubular Bells or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and my favorite... I don't know that it was necessarily written for the movie, but that Lost in the Shadows song from Lost Boys, I get it stuck in my head all the time.
Let's see, I gotta think about this one for a second. Do you have one, Kit?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
It's Dream Warriors by Dokken. Dream Warriors by Dokken.
I don't know. I guess it's not in one of the movies. What was the fucking?
What about that, like, Freddy Krueger rap one?
I was gonna say, what about, like, didn't the Fat Boys do a song
Ready
for
for
Nightmare on
Freddy.
Elm Street?
They did a whole like LP.
That's so
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's just like him in the back being like, "Yes, go to sleep."
Man, like, I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, like, all I can think about is, like, those early 2000s, late 90s fucking terrible nu metal soundtracks.
Like, new, right?
You can go with that Hero song from Spider-Man. If you can't think of anything else, by Nickelback.
No.
Oh, if I was gonna do that, I would go with fucking.
I said horror movies. Spider-Man's not a horror movie.
Spider-Man 3 is.
I'm terrified of spiders,
Oh my god.
especially when they become men.
God, I brought this fucking question up, and now I have one. Whatever. Oh wait, hold on a second. Yeah, here, ask another question. I gotta look up what the name of this song was real quick. So go to the next question, and then I'll answer it.
Okay, so the next question is from our girl Casey at Worst Horror Podcast, and she asked, what are your favorite movies to watch during Halloween? Which for me is different than, like, what's your favorite horror movie? Because I'm, like, one of those weird people who I save movies for holidays. So, like, for Christmas, I watch A Christmas Story, and I only watch it on Christmas Eve. Like, I do the 24 hours because I'm insane. So I do have, like, some movies that are my favorite. I watch all year round, which is, like, the ones I've already listed
All right, hold on.
1,000 times.
Real quick. Blood for
Yeah.
Days, Static X, Bride of Chucky soundtrack.
Oh my god.
Nice.
All right, I'll take that. So there are a handful of movies that I watch only on Halloween. So those are the ones that I'm gonna go with.
Halloween.
Do you
Town.
guys? Bitch, you know it. So movies you watch during Halloween was her question.
I gotta think about this too.
I'm cliche. The two I always watch, I make sure I do a doubleheader of Trick or Treat and then Halloween.
Nice. Trick or Treat's on my list also, along with Halloween Town 1 and 2, Hocus
Okay.
Pocus, Tales from the Dark Side, and then the one that's my favorite is Monster Squad.
Tales from the Dark Side super underrated.
Hard agree. I feel
It's
like
so good.
I go less movies, and will usually kind of like binge like a TV show. Like I'll do like Tales from the Crypt or something. Like right now, I guess kind of like leading up to it, I realized it was on Tubi. I've been watching the Masters of Horror series.
What's that?
It was, I think,
Showtime.
Yeah, Showtime. They basically gave each director like was just like they picked a director, was just like make a movie, no kind of restraints, and just do what you want. And then it was like a series that was each episode was a movie by a different director. So like John Carpenter did one, like Tobe Hooper did one.
Mick Garris.
Yeah, like pretty much just like anybody you can think of. They had like one that got like banned from
the
Takashi
Miike.
It's Imprint.
Ooh, I like him. What's it called?
It's called Imprint. It is real fucked up.
It's
honestly, I don't think it's any more fucked up than any of the rest of his movies, but I actually bringing him up. I usually watch Audition kind of like leading up around Halloween too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think that you guys before we've done any like Korean or Japanese ones. So the Korean like revenge films are like so like we definitely need to do one.
I actually like
just do Old Boy.
Well, no, so when I like we're going to do the first week of November, like whatever the first episode in November, spoiler, we're doing an episode where we're going to have Katie watch kind of a movie we deem as like an essential movie that she hasn't seen, and we're going to do that like kind of periodically and have her kind of like take the lead. And the first one that I came across that I was like, we should do this was Itchy the Killer.
Oh, I've seen that.
But yeah, that's kind of, I assumed, like, but I also, like, it's incredibly difficult taking notes for a movie and reading subtitles, and
yeah, that's true.
I'd be all about doing some of those movies, though. I am way into, like, the Japanese and, like, Korean horror scene.
I'm sure. Have you guys seen The Host?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Very
I think it might be hard to, like, find one that none of us have seen, but we should definitely do one. Anyways, did you answer?
Yeah, I think we all answered that.
Okay, so the next one is what is your best horror movie experience?
I got two for different reasons. First one, I would say Tusk, because I was like one of three people in the screening, and the other guy in there was very upset. It was like some old guy that I don't know why he was even there, but he was just not thrilled. And then it's kind of a tie. I saw the Evil Dead remake in like a packed theater, and that's one of those like movies that's like so like ridiculously over the top, like everybody was like real into it. And then that would be tied with, I went to a thing here where I live that happens every year called Horrorama. That's just like a, like 6 p.m. to like 6 a.m. like marathon. And they did all of the George Romero zombie movies one year, I think just leading up to Land of the Dead. That was real good. And just kind of being in a theater with people that just all loved those movies was really nice.
Nice.
What about you, Kit?
A couple of years ago, I went to go see Hellraiser at Alamo Drafthouse, and they did a Q&A with the cast beforehand. And the Q&A was great. Like, everyone was awesome. But, God damn it, I totally just blanked on Pinhead's name.
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley, thank you. Doug Bradley, in the middle of a question, walked up to the woman next to me and just grabbed a handful of popcorn out of her popcorn bowl and just, like, ate it in front of her and then went back to his seat.
That's the best.
Amazing. I guess just to throw this out there too, also not necessarily horror related, but I've gone to like a couple Kevin Smith movies where he does like Q&A afterwards. that were all like really fun. Those would probably be like my top kind of movie going experiences. I got to talk to Kevin Smith about Anthrax for like 20 minutes once.
Wow.
All right, what about
like
you?
The band, hopefully.
Yeah, like Yoga Hosers opens with his daughter and like her friend, or like they have like a band, and the opening credits is them singing "I'm the Man" by Anthrax. So I was just like, oh, like what was like Harley's reaction to that? And he told this like story about how he used to play that for them when they were like real young, and they would sing it, but like and like scream the curse words in it and shit. All right.
I should have just been you being like a total Punisher, like
Name
for no
4
reason, just
other
be like,
Anthrax
hey,
songs.
yeah. Hey man, what's your favorite Thrax album?
Can you name the
Thrax.
other fucking 3 of the big 4? All right. What about you, Katie?
Mine is actually, I didn't include this movie in my top 5 anything, but I really love it, is the original Insidious. So I went to see it in the theater. It was kind of like the same experience where like I went with like 2 other people, and then there was like 2 other couples in the theater, and that's it. And I feel bad for people who didn't see this movie in the theater because it's really great. Like you get a lot from having like the surround sound, you get a lot from having the huge screen, like sort of kind of like how, like if you didn't see Paranormal Activity in the theater, I feel like a lot of it's like sort of lost on you. So my experience with that movie was really good because like there was nobody in the theater, and so like the very first, there's really only like 3 major scares in that movie, which if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you in this episode, but the very first scare that happens, the guy that was sitting next to me actually jumped and like launched his popcorn everywhere. Then it like cuts away to daytime, and everyone in the theater like screamed, and then we were all like nervously just like yeah, and like settled back into our seats. And so it was like I haven't felt that, you know, like when something scares you and you get that like adrenaline. I haven't had a movie do that for me in a really, really long time when I saw that in the theater. So that's like my favorite. And there was like a couple other scenes in the movie that really scared me before it got super weird. So that's my favorite experience.
I had that, like, I went to see Don't Breathe in the theater, sort of twice, where the first time I went, I forgot the name of the movie, and I thought it was Lights Out, so I went and saw Lights Out without having any idea what it was.
That's hilarious.
And Lights Out does a lot of that, like, kind of jump scary shit in the dark. So it was kind of like that. Like, I had, like, no idea what the fuck this movie was. I thought it was Don't Breathe, so.
That's hilarious. So the next one is, what are some specific scenes from horror movies that really like stayed with you?
The first thing that comes to mind is I can't think of his fucking name now, I haven't watched it in a while, but the general getting ripped in half in Day of the Dead. Where he's just like, they're all like, all the zombies are like eating him, and he's just like, choke on it. I'm just trying to think of something else though. Let's see. Somebody else wants to go.
I would say the defib scene from The Thing.
Yeah.
Was like the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. I jumped up out of my chair like 8 fucking feet.
I'm trying to pick something that's not Dawn of the Dead, Aliens, or The Thing. Go ahead, Katie. Let me think for a second.
I have a few. Number 1 is the shit weasel scene from Dreamcatcher. As I said in that episode, I didn't remember the name of the movie or anything that happened, but I remembered that part. My second one is from Pet Sematary. So obviously these are spoilers. So if you're trying not to have spoilers, skip ahead. Pet Sematary, which like I rewatch this movie all the time, and I still cannot watch the scene when Gage stabs Jeb in the Achilles with the scalpel. Grosses me out. From a Kevin Bacon masterpiece, Stir of Echoes, there's a scene where they like drag this girl and her fingernails just like fly off, and it's super gross. And then I think this was in the Evil Dead remake. But I specifically remember in Gerald's game at the end, there's like some really gross arm stuff that happens, and it like really grosses me out. So those are mine.
Yeah, there's like two things in the Evil Dead remake where like people lose their arms.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two. One of them from a movie I enjoyed, and one of them from a movie that was pretty mediocre. I was going to say Evil Dead Remake 2. I have maybe three things in any movie that's ever made me like physically squirm. And in the Evil Dead remake, when the dude gets hit in the hand with the crowbar and you see his hand split, fucked me up. Like, I hold that up there with like the fucking sound of the teeth on the curb in American History X. And then in a movie that I did not really enjoy, the Last House on the Left remake with the fucking microwave. Did either of you see that movie?
No.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's like the very end of it is a dude. They have a microwave that won't turn off, like when the door opens. So they like place this dude's head like in the microwave with the door open and just fucking like explode his head. It's fucking goofy as shit. I just recorded yesterday a Toilet of Hell podcast episode with Joe and Jordan where we talked about the movie You're Next, and there's a scene in that movie where like a blender gets jammed into somebody's head, and immediately just like I started thinking about that. So that I think will probably be out like right after this episode comes out. So listen to us make fun of Kit for a while.
Can't wait.
Oh. Joe was asking for people to be on that podcast in a Facebook group I'm in, and after like 40 comments, I was just like, Joe, and he just goes, fuck you.
His exact. He sent me a DM and he was like, "Hey, we're doing like horror movies. Do you want to be on an episode?" No, Kit, fuck him. He did also like after we kind of discussed what we were gonna do. He was like, "We can invite Kit if you want." And I was like, "That's up to you. It's your podcast. Like, I'm totally fine with Kit being there. Like, either way is fine with me." And then you were not there, so.
I'm gonna shit on his floor next time I'm at his house.
Just steal his rooster.
Run away with his flock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So what else we got, Katie?
Next question is, what movies does everyone love but you didn't like?
Event Horizon.
Hereditary and Midsummer.
Fighting you.
That's fine.
I haven't seen either of those, so I'm gonna say something that that will also make Kit fight me. The Void.
Oh, come on. I'm in the credits on that one.
Did you back it on like
really?
Kickstarter or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a chunk of monster meat in my Blu-ray copy from helping the Kickstarter.
I like The Void. It's just like one of those movies that it's just kind of like I've seen it. I don't know how often I'll ever like rewatch it, but I don't dislike it.
I feel like I need to rewatch it because I watched it like when it first came out before I saw the reviews, and I thought it was so stupid. And then everyone's like, "This is the best movie," and I was like, "Oh," so maybe I'll rewatch it. I'm gonna say The Void. I'm also gonna say the Quiet Place or A Quiet Place or whatever. I saw that in the theater and I did not like it. And then I'm gonna say one that will probably make people mad, and it's Jaws.
How that's crazy. This podcast.
Yeah.
However.
Yeah, we're over. Cut it. Dump it.
However,
I do like Jaws: The Revenge.
I didn't see Jaws until I was like a full-ass adult, and I feel like some of those movies, if you didn't see them like when you were growing up, it's really hard to see the magic or whatever, but
Jaws is also
I am scared of sharks, so
Jaws is also one of those movies that like
It's perfect.
Yeah, it is an absolutely, it's a perfect movie, but you know how like movies will come out and they just are like, or not even come out, but like you'll just be like, so like people will just amp up a movie so much that when you finally watch it, you're just kind of like, this is fine, but like probably would have been better if I didn't have such fucking high hopes because people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
yeah, that happens to me a lot, which is why it took me so long to watch the Haunting of Hill House, which ended up being like phenomenal. So I'm really sad, but normally it ends up the other way. So that's why I haven't seen Hereditary or Midsummer yet, because I'm sort of just like waiting for that to die.
Hereditary
But I also
is worth watching for Toni Collette. I just didn't enjoy the movie, really.
I also haven't seen Get Out or Us because of that.
Oh, those
which
you should absolutely watch.
I definitely plan on it, but that's why
I'm also throwing The Witch out there. That I do not like The Witch.
I watched like half an hour of it and was like, this is so boring, and I turned it off.
Unbelievable. Done with y'all.
Another unpopular opinion. I think Us is better than Get Out.
I think I've seen people say that, so...
I've gotten yelled at on Twitter for saying that.
One time I said something really neutral about Jimmy Eat World, and I got shit on, so Twitter is the place you go to get yelled at about anything.
Jimmy Eat World has 2 listenable albums, and the rest are garbage, so...
Listen, I don't really like them at all, but what I said about them was super neutral, and like... I woke up and I had like 50 mentions, and I was like, what did I do?
I get shit, like, fuck Twitter. I get like shit all the time where I'll just be like, oh man, like I'd be like, okay, so Nick Cave released a new album this week, and this album and the 2 before it, like, one of the old band members quit, like the head songwriter, and they've slowly progressed where like this one guy took over, and he's like, kind of like reinvigorated the band, and I was like, these are like my favorite albums, I think they're the best, and I had like 5 people be like, you're wrong, and I'm like, cool, eat shit, I don't follow any of you, I don't know why you're talking to me. So,
yeah,
hard stance
we have
Twitter.
like, yeah, for sure. We have like 10 minutes, and we still have like 6 questions,
yeah,
so let's answer very fast. So you have another question from, wait, Kid, did you answer?
Yeah, the Event Horizon. I only have the one.
Okay. This is also from Lo-Fi Horror Guy. Do you have any items in your collection, horror items in your collection, that you have even though you don't like the movie?
I only collect alien stuff, so
yeah,
no.
I pretty much most of my horror stuff is alien related.
Hey, high five.
Yeah, we've made up for my
Alien
Hereditary
Bros.
comment. I don't really buy a lot of stuff that isn't movies. So like I don't have like a lot of kind of just like, you know, quote unquote like merch from horror movies.
Yeah, I think what I bought, I've been really specific about selecting. Before I moved to California, I had a ton of like horror movies that I didn't like, that I just owned, that I got rid of. The only thing I would say I have is like I bought a shirt that has Chucky on it because I thought it was funny, and I don't dislike Child's Play, but it's not like my favorite. That would be like the closest thing I could say.
I do have a bunch of like signed pictures from people from The Walking Dead that my mom won at like a zombie race.
That counts.
I guess that counts.
Walking Dead is stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I like the first like 2 or 3 seasons, but the comic books are real good. All right, next question.
Yeah. This question is from Vic from Vile.
God, I can't wait.
The question is, what would be your ideal way of being murdered?
It's so good.
This question made me laugh so hard.
Oh my.
And I gave it some serious thought, and I think I want one of those like baseball pitching machines to become sentient and launch a baseball so fast my head explodes, like in Deadly Friend.
Deadly Friend
Same,
mixed with
but
Maximum
Coke
Overdrive.
machine.
I was gonna say I want to be hitting the balls by a Coke machine, shooting out Coke cans, and then I'd just die.
Get my skull dented in.
So this isn't necessarily how I want to be murdered. This is the most horrifying murder I have ever heard, and it was on. It's from a thing I saw on like 48 Hours Mystery or like Dateline NBC or some shit, of this like married couple who had retired and like got kidnapped and got taken out in their boat, and they shot the wife, tied them both to the anchor, and just dumped this dude tied to his dead wife into the ocean.
Yikes.
It's like the most like fucking horrifying thing I've ever heard.
I think, if I'm being honest, I'm going to take like a really, really wimpy way out here, and I'm going to say shot in the head, because anything else to me sounds absolutely horrifying.
I want to be
like
thrown out into space.
Ooh. Call. That'd be dope.
Okay. That might be alright.
Just to float around as a dead body in space until I just like I don't know if you would like decompose in space. Imagine if you were just like the
Oh.
meteor that killed a planet.
Maybe I'm gonna go with Flash Frozen, and then like a car hits me and I shatter into a billion
Yes.
pieces.
Okay, that's not bad. Anything where I'm like not conscious of what's happening would be okay, because anything else is too much.
I would be swallowed by a whale.
That sounds painful.
And shit out alive, and then you die.
Yes, and then I get eaten by a shark.
Okay.
Next.
The next question is from my friend Adam. What would be in an It sequel or prequel, and would you want to see it?
No.
I think we kind of talked about this.
No.
Weren't there rumors that there was going to be like a prequel?
The director and I think Bill Skarsgård has been like, yeah, we're like talking about doing like stuff that's just like other tales of Pennywise before the kids, and no, just no to all
I
of
think
it.
For me, I think I've spent enough time with Pennywise in the last couple of years. I think if they did it, I don't know. I might.
I only want to see it.
Definitely not a sequel. That would make me so mad because nothing should be happening.
What if it's just like
after.
little melted Pennywise body, and that's just it's just him? I want a prequel, but only if it's a drama, like a romantic drama, and it's just Pennywise in the circus, and he's in love with like one of the other circus folk, and it's not
It's
a horror.
Dumbo, but Pennywise is Dumbo.
Pennywise can fly with his ears.
Fly with his big ears. I like it. Okay, so this came from the customers also watched, and it's if you could write a movie for Asylum, what would it be about?
Oh, I've actually been planning this one for
I
years.
I told her, I was like, Kit's gonna have this immediately.
Polar gator.
Okay.
All right, so
Obviously about an Arctic gator.
Mine, I thought of this solely because, like I just said, I did like You're Next on Toilet of Hell. It's also called You're Next, but it stars Goldberg. And it's just him murdering other wrestlers.
Spearing people in half.
Yes.
Done.
It's
Sold.
called You're Next, but it's spelled with the wrong your.
So mine is basically The Crow, but it is it's a magician who got murdered, and he comes back as the Magpie, and it stars Tobey Maguire.
There are enough Crow stories, like kind of comic books, that I feel like that's probably a Crow story at this point.
It probably is, but Tobey Maguire, and he's a magician. Okay. So the next one is Nathan, you can answer if you want, but it's mostly for me and Kit. Your top 5 horror game franchises.
Oh yeah, I got nothing. Breath of the Wild. And the fucking forest
Very
with all the
spooky.
fog.
That's a horror game for a different reason.
Well, that game rules. You're fired. I'm muting you out of the entire episode. It's just gonna be me and Kit answering questions that no one hears.
Answering questions,
No one-
right? Okay, this is one of the. I'll just go.
I will
Yeah.
say, like, I haven't played it. I am a fucking nerd that watched the playthrough just because I wanted to see what it was about. But Alien Isolation looks fucking rad.
Yes.
I cheated on this one because I didn't know if it counted as a horror game, but I'm gonna say Silent Hill, specifically Silent Hill 2, Fatal Frame, Dead Space, the original, Doom 3, because the original is not really scary anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and say Castlevania because it's great, like not super horror, but sort of. And Bloodborne, obviously, I don't stop talking about Bloodborne, and then House of the Dead.
I think I'm gonna go with Dead Space 2, the original Resident Evil, then probably Resident Evil 4, Alien Isolation, and then probably also Doom 3,
But-
which I feel like got an unfair amount of shit because that game was really good.
It's so good.
Battletoads bike race is scarier than every single thing you guys just listed.
I'll agree with that. Anytime you make it to a boss battle in Battletoads,
Anything in Battletoads past the first level is just a fucking nightmare. I've
I
played.
worked at GameStop, so I never want to talk about Battletoads again.
Yeah, I can see that. I
Battletoads podcast coming at you.
I spent so much time in the dark, listening to The Cure playing the first 3 Doom games. Like, where I would just get, like, the cheat codes and just fucking run around and just blow shit up. So, I'm gonna say all 3 of the first 3 Doom games. And Wolfenstein.
Oh, nice.
How many more we got?
We have technically just 2.
Okay.
Do you guys have a surprise question?
No, I don't have anything.
I do.
Okay, what is it?
So, because in the chat you had mistyped it as sexy question instead of spooky question, I've got a spooky, sexy question.
Okay.
All right. You've got a sexy horror monster calendar. What sexy horror monster are you choosing for your birth month?
Ghost Jaws.
Dracula.
Let's see. I feel like since mine's May, it has to be something kind of bright. So, xenomorph in a bikini. No, so the fucking human xenomorph in Alien Resurrection in a bikini.
That's horrifying.
What's your answer?
I came up with this question. I never thought of an answer for it. I'm gonna
I feel
go
like
with
mine was like a throwaway, but
I'm gonna go with the werewolf from Silver Bullet. While he's in the priest outfit, so he's like a priest thing going on.
I was gonna say a werewolf, but I'm not really into that. So,
Tom Atkins in a bikini.
My question was, what horror movie universe do you think you would have a chance at surviving?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, good call.
I said Scream because it's always somebody. Like, I feel like I know nobody I know. I feel like I have a pretty good chance of surviving against people I know if they decided they were gonna kill me.
We'll see.
The Scream way. The Scream way.
I'm gonna go with Hellraiser because I'm bad with puzzles. So
You just would never get it open.
yeah, I'll never solve it.
That's a good one.
I think going for like an actual horror movie, solely because I think about it any building I walk into, maybe like Dawn of the Dead. I think about like where I would hide or like
You've got a zombie escape plan.
Yes.
My thing with that is, like, I don't trust other people to not, like, fuck that up for me. I think if I was by myself, maybe, but not if I had, like, other people.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go with Dawn of the Dead.
I'm gonna also go with Gremlins because I follow the rules. Anyways, the last thing was just things to recommend for people's spooky enjoyment.
Nudes.
Oh, you...
Sexy nudes.
Werewolf nudes.
Or spooky nudes. Take
I was gonna say
nudes.
hanging out in a
Bigfoot.
graveyard,
Take nudes.
but I'm gonna say hanging out in a graveyard naked.
Yeah. Wearing.
Don't send anybody anything they don't want. That's the first thing.
You have consent.
Everybody.
I don't know. I don't really do like decorations or stuff like that. I don't know. I just do like I've been doing all month and watch a different Nick Cage movie every day.
Okay.
Or like I did today and watch 2 in a row and have your brain melt.
That's
That
too
did
much.
happen. I'm gonna recommend a book called A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. And it's like one of the best books I've ever read in my whole life. And I read it like 2 years ago and I still think about it all the time. I'm also going to recommend the show Scream Queens because it's hilarious. I think it's on Hulu right now. And I'm also going to recommend the Pumpkin Cold Foam Cold Brew from Starbucks.
I don't know what any of that means.
That's okay.
It's not for you, Nathan.
Starbucks is a thing?
Starbucks.
Oh, I was like, what is this like a?
It makes me want an Arby's Starbucks mashup,
Just a pumpkin
or
spice
maybe they
roast
just
beef
blend
sandwich.
up some meat, blend up
Oh.
some meat and pumpkin spice it. Give it to me as a shake.
A roast beef frappuccino, if you would.
Ooh,
Oh my
man.
god, I want it.
It just sounds like it would just go straight into your veins.
With like
That's something.
cheese,
That's something
sauce, whipped
spooky.
cream.
Make yourself a roast beef latte.
Oh god,
I regret.
that is the worst thing that's been said in this entire episode.
Just
I think so.
slathered cheese like it was whipped cream.
It's just the big
with
beef and
cheese.
cheddar.
That's what I said, with the little like fried
Fucking
onions on top.
Put some Arby's sauce on there and.
The chocolate A's.
That's the end. We're done.
All right.
No one's gonna listen to this podcast anymore.
Yeah, this is the last episode. I hope you suffered, but why?
Blended
They-
meats.
They definitely suffered.